His Excellency Mr. Peterobi and the Governor of Abia State for standing up at this time to call us together to this very critical meeting. I stand here as a senator, talk to you, but more importantly, as a former national chairman of Abia for 10 years. So the issues before us are issues I'm very familiar and conversant with in party administration. Therefore, like His Excellency Governor Uti, now he presented his speech here, he captured everything. Everything in detail that any person who was in doubt before coming here will know the reason for this meeting. And that we cannot be building on quicksand where our efforts will sink. It's not about anybody. Nobody is against anybody. I'm not fighting anybody as well. What has brought us here is what they call doctrine of necessity. Our party has been left rudderless. And once your leadership is not recognized by INEC, you'll be wasting your time. You want to drag them in court, you have to be sure that you are firmly on the path of the law and that you have followed due process in whatever you have done. You can take INEC to court, definitely, if you want. But for you to do that successfully, you must be on firm ground. When in March, we had few days before the convention that purportedly took place at Nnewi, we did raise concerns over it. Myself, as the former national chairman of the party, conversant with processes of arrival at the convention, I knew we hadn't prepared for convention. So I said, how can we put the cart before the horse? You can't put the cart before the horse. You have to do the necessary things before you move to that end. We hadn't done world congresses, we hadn't done local government congresses, we hadn't done state congresses, and now we were faced with a convention. I knew we were on a faulty start as a party administrator, and I raised it at that time. You know, when people want to do what they plan to do, whatever you tell them will fall on deaf ears. I'm sure there were consultations with the Senate caucus, House of Rep caucus, by the leader, because he called us to meetings, and we pointed these pitfalls. But we were not hacking to, and they proceeded. At that time, we didn't know anything about consent treatment even. I was talking based on experience. And when they decided to move on to do these things, I knew that we were going to fall into this ditch. I didn't know what INEC would do, but I knew certainly that we would be wrong along the line. So when along the line, these things started rearing up, I knew that the chicken has come to roost. It doesn't matter about your relationship with anybody. Once what you are doing is not right, you will be endangering everybody's interests and rights. So now that everything has become public knowledge, that INEC has wielded the big stick as a regulatory body, I knew that we have run into stormy waters. For your chairman to go to a meeting and be asked to leave, it shows you that you are not part of the system anymore. Now we saw I don't need to repeat everything, because Dr. Alex has said everything, the governor. The consent judgment came out. I also read it. I read the paragraph where it said that within 1 year, this last administration must conduct world congresses, local government congresses, state congresses, then end at the convention. Because it's a pyramid sort of thing. From the ground, you go to the top. And I knew that everything would collapse. So it's not about struggle or for somebody to hold on to power. You can hold on to power if you are not on the right path. So this meeting is still very timely. so that we will not be caught napping, like he explained till 2007. I've been in courts all the years as a party leader, so I know where the minds are led. So the only thing we can do is to follow this meeting. The decision this meeting will arrive at, not against anybody. We have not gathered to dissolve National Working Committee of Labour Party. We have not done that. If they were in place, they would be attending INEC meetings. And they will be giving us directives, we'll be following. So we are here so that they are no longer part of what INEC is doing. So we didn't create the problem. Nobody should blame anybody here for what is happening in the party. So our duty is, like he said, an elder will not stay in the house where they go to deliver in papers. We have to salvage the party and start afresh. So I want to commend them and agree that the only option left for us, whether you like A or B, is for us to do the right thing. Due process will be followed. That's the only way we can stand even up to tell INEC that Labour Party cannot be trampled upon. It's only when you are on the right path. If you're not on the right path, they will stop you to eternity. The Constitution says it. The son who came out with something to read knows that the Constitution says that every political party must renew its leadership every 4 years. And for you to be able to do that, you do things uniformly. There will be national congresses for what? Nationwide, same timetable. For local government, the same timetable. State congress, the same timetable. For across the country, then convention. You can't do it piecemeal. When you do in Ebonyi today, next month, you go and do it in Sokoto, you go and do the other place. I pointed this thing out. So I want to thank everybody for cooperation to this meeting. Come with open mind. Because in politics, people say different things out of fear. People just get intimidated. We will have no alternative to this action being taken here today. So I thank you very much. And I commend you, our leaders, to ensure that the right things are done. We are here to support.
Held in Oka sometime 2 months ago that brought about Abure-led administration.
You see, the party itself was concerned that INEC, which is a regulatory authority, INEC has powers to monitor the activities of political parties. It is INEC that recognizes the leadership of parties. Twice, you in the media are witnesses that INEC said the Labour Party does not have any leadership. So we said, no, we can't leave a vacuum. It will be dangerous. In fact, it constitutes an existential threat to the party. So we said, we better put in place a leadership that INEC will recognize.
So what are you to the party?
I'm a member of the party.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
They have firewood that was left by the women when they went to the farm, because it is that firewood they will use in rekindling the fire for the evening meal. So if you're at home and it's raining, be you a man or a woman, is expected to go out, pick the firewood that has been used, put them aside so that when the fire will be rekindled for the evening meal, it will be available. I want to apologize for the absence of the NLC President and General Secretary, who are on their way from Owerri right now and will be arriving very soon. We already had our programs. They had to go to Kano and got back yesterday to Abuja, took off from Abuja this morning. They've arrived Owerri, so they're on their way to Umeh here. As an initial remark, let's state that the NLC, having put so much effort in repositioning the Labour Party, we appreciate the efforts of our very strong leader, Mr. Peterobi, and the Governor Alex Otti for convening this meeting. We believe that the stakeholders will resolve that the rule of law will be strictly complied with the setting of the transition committee, so to supervise the conduct of ward, local government, states, and eventually a national convention that will be expansive and inclusive for stability of the party. The labor side of it is to ensure that the rule of law is followed. It is not a wider interest we are asking for. It is true that when you give birth to a child, you expect the child to do better than you, to grow more than you grew. But it does not also mean that you look the other way when things are going wrong. Once in a while, you pick me to say, yes, remember the rule of law must be followed. To make sure that we don't make the mistakes we are trying to correct right now. It is true there are mistakes. I want to especially appreciate the elder who has seen that it is about to rain or it's already drizzling, to say, let me remove the firewood that was used in the morning for rekindling of the next fire that will be used to cook for the family. We so appreciate you. And all of you on the high table, we know the efforts you are putting in, and we highly appreciate. Because like you said, we didn't want to come in for people to think, although they are thinking, that the labor still want to be in charge to dictate. We are not dictating. It's just to say there is a problem. There are problems. How do